Welcome to the CSS podcast. I'm your host, Dave Wolfers. The gentleman there in the middle is my son, Sam Wolfers. And the gentleman on my right, your left, is Charlie Crawley. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Doing okay.
Oh, Sam's frozen, apparently.
Good. Can't complain.
There he is. Okay. Phew. He's not frozen anymore. Well, you're frozen, but there you go. You're having some issues. Is it snowing out there in Colorado or what?
No, it was 50 degrees today. It was nice.
Oh, good.
It was warmer there than here.
Yeah. Well, we have a good podcast tonight for you. We're talking some basketball, high school football. We may even throw in a little Reds Fest that happened this weekend, college football, plus our topic of the week. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification button so that you won't miss any episodes if we have to drop an emergency pod, if the Bearcats hire someone here in the near future before next Sunday. We might have a special emergency pod for you.
Before next season.
Yeah, that is true. And also, tell your friends and coworkers about the latest CSS podcast. We talk all Cincinnati sports scene here. So let's get going here to the week that was. Start out with a high school football shout out to Wyoming for making it to the state finals. It's been a pretty good run for them. Unfortunately, they came up on the short end, 26-6 to a Glenville team out of Cleveland that was pretty good, pretty loaded, pretty big up front. They have 5 D1 guys on that squad. The running back really put it to us, or put it to Wyoming today, or yesterday, I should say. But overall, it was a great season, and they don't have anything to hang their hats on, or hang their heads about, I should say. And just congrats to the CHL for that. Got any takes, Crawley, on that or not?
No, congrats, Wyoming. Only Cincy area team that made it to the state championship, at least Ohio-wise state championship. And I guess Glenville, I didn't know this about Glenville. They, I guess they were D2 just a few years ago, and somehow now they're D4. I don't know how you drop that in the last few years, whatever. You went from 2 to 4. They literally said they didn't play any D4 schools their entire schedule until the playoffs.
Playoffs, right.
So that's pretty good, postseason play or whatever. That's why I guess their entire conference must not be D4. They must be the smallest school in their conference.
Probably. It's probably out of, I think they were D2 to start, and then probably just out of, migration, dropped to D3 and then dropped to D4. So they'll, they keep winning. They'll bump back up probably to D3 just because of the way the OHSAA does their, I guess, titles and
competitive balance thing.
Yeah, the competitive balance thing. Yeah, exactly.
But they're a public school, so they won't be dinged for that. So
nope, that is true. So all right. Once again, shout out to Wyoming for their run, making the southwestern Ohio, southwestern Ohio, proud of you here tonight. Let's talk a little basketball real quick because I want to save the football, talk Bearcat football here after that. Basketball, UC and XU had a busy week. UC played Southeast Louisiana and beat them 95-63. And then Saturday, they welcomed back Bobby Huggins to the Cintas Center. And after a slow start, they really came on in the second half and to defeat the West Virginia Mountaineers 84-74. Anybody watch the game at all? Or
I did not know.
Anything like that?
I did not.
I watched the first half, probably about the first probably most. I was flipping back and forth between some other stuff, and I was watching it. And like I said, they were West Virginia was really hitting some threes. I think they hit their first 5 3-pointers, and Xavier just was struggling a little bit. And the second half, they picked it up and just had some key baskets, had some good times, some turnovers, and they got out to a nice lead. It was a real good win for Xavier over a real good West Virginia team. UC also had a busy week. They beat NJIT 86-60. Bryant, yes, the powerhouse.
What's the mascot for NJIT?
Probably a computer board, right? Is that what it is?
The Institute of Technology.
Like
let me see if I can find
a keyboard.
Is it a keyboard?
Yeah, this one I don't know. They could get me on my course. I'm pretty confident to say they do not have a D1 football team. So
yeah, I think you're right. But I think there probably be something like the engineers, or I don't know. Who knows?
I can't even tell by their logo.
The Marauders. That seems like a name for them. I don't know, the Marauders.
Well, anyhow, UC beat them 86 to
they're the
60.
Highlanders. They're the Highlanders.
Oh. Then they defeated Bryant today, 97-71. Moves their record to 6-3 on the season. Any thoughts? Anybody watch the game today?
I watched a little bit today, and then some highlights. And looking at the box score, it looks like they were pretty well rounded. I 6 guys in double figures. Outside of one starter, I can't remember who. Anybody that played, significant minutes at 8 or more points. So whenever you can be well balanced like that, I know you're playing lower level competition at Bryant, but I think that's a good thing for those games to spread the scoring, get everybody else involved, build confidence up. Because we got X on next Saturday, and then conference play will start in 2 or 3 weeks. So, just getting your rotations solidified, getting everybody involved so that everybody kind of knows their role, I think is key for when you're playing smaller teams and lesser games, I guess, like this.
Right. Yeah. So big game Saturday for the Bearcats. Before that, they play Xavier, the Crosstown Showdown on Saturday for both teams, and then Xavier will play Southern on the 13th, and then they open up on Friday, the 16th conference play, Big East play against Georgetown at Georgetown. So Xavier has a big week, and UC has X, and then Miami of Ohio on the 14th. So it's a busy week. Everybody's going to be looking for this game here this Saturday to rule the city. And, it's a big game for Wes Miller's squad just to rebound from last year and hopefully, can put his stamp on this series. Any previews that you guys want to add to this?
My guess is Xavier will be favored. They probably have, just on paper, they probably have the edge between. UC has some experienced guys too, but I think UC's got 2 guys out already, 2 like injury, like long-term injury kind of things. That Finney dude from Indiana's out. I think he said a fracture in his foot. Maybe that's not good for a basketball player. And Newman, the guy that he was back from last year, but kind of their defensive glue guy, he's out for. I think he has like some pretty serious thing too. So not good for UC to come into this. Without those 2 guys. So it's at UC. So obviously that always gives the home team a boost. But yeah, see what happens.
What's your take, Sam?
Yeah, I don't really have too much to add other than, we know it's always an intense game. I think it's going to come down to what UC does from the 3-point line. Are they going to be throwing up bricks, or are they going to be somewhat consistent, shoot 35, 40% as a team? And then also, how much is Victor Lakin going to contribute? Is he going to actually get the ball kind of in the low post and be able to go to work, or Xavier's big's actually good enough to properly defend him? So I think those are the 2 keys for UC.
Yeah, I guess the Lakin dude's been playing pretty well over the
he has.
Last few games, so that's a good thing.
That is, and then they just get back Sage then
He played a few minutes.
Yeah, I think it was his first game back from suspension or whatever, sitting out, those type of things. So moving forward, good luck to both of them. It should be a good game. It is at the at UC's campus, so it should be rocking and rolling there. And we'll see what happens, and we'll probably have it all here next week for you. With that, let's talk a little bit about the Bearcats football. And they had, obviously, Fickle win it to Wisconsin last Sunday. And, we had that emergency pod on, just talking about that and some of our hopes. There's at least 2-3 people that are still out there for the coaching search. And what, I think the longer they take to name a head coach, I believe that they are looking for somebody who is currently at another school and maybe the playoffs, or I would probably say they're probably in the playoffs. And that's why it's taken them a little longer to finalize, because they're probably waiting to make that announcement. But if it happens, within the next couple of days, then I think it might be somebody that is just in a bowl game and moving forward. But Dion is apparently heading to Colorado. Chadwell went to, where did he go? I just saw that today. I can't remember now. Jamie Chadwell went out to, just got hired by somebody.
The Coastal Carolina guy?
Yeah, he just got hired by somebody. I can't remember who. Liberty. Where it's Liberty.
Which means that UC must not have even been looking at him, because there's no way he'd go to Liberty over UC. So
right. Yeah, exactly. And so, the 3 names that we threw out there, the 2 names we threw out there, Brian Hartline from the wide receivers coach from Ohio State, interviewed this past week. And Jesse Minter, I don't know if he interviewed, but I know they were talking to him about his interest. And then they also interviewed the interim, Kerry Coombs, there. And I don't know. The other name is the OC, Gino, quarterback coach,
OC.
Talked to
him.
Yeah,
I'm sure they talked to him and Kerry Coombs.
Right. And I know it actually been reported that Kerry Combs and Hartline were the 2 that they interviewed, but I don't know if they actually interviewed Gino or not. But I know some of the players want him. Thoughts, takes on coaching search?
I'm a little surprised it hasn't been done yet. I guess it would make sense if they're going after someone who is going to be coaching in the playoff, aka Minter. But if they're not, I don't see what the holdup is. The transfer portal officially opens up tomorrow. If you don't have a head coach in place, you're already behind. You're already behind with players leaving UC's program, decommitments, and to not be able to, kind of hit the portal when it first opens up tomorrow with the head coach in place, I don't think is great. So if they hire somebody on Wednesday or Thursday, who's just an OC or a head coach for some minor bowl game, I don't see why they didn't get that done yesterday or today. I think that would be a little disappointing. That's kind of my main thing about it.
Yeah, I said on last week's podcast I would have expected by today we would know. So yeah, I'm surprised as well. But a little bit we don't know is if some of the leading contenders were guys that ended up somewhere else, or they're waiting again for this weekend to get past to see where like the Michigan guys, the Michigan offensive coordinator has names popped up that I saw. His name's I don't know how you say his first name, Sharon Moore. Supposedly, and this is again what do people on Twitter know, but I saw something on Twitter that said the Minter doesn't like recruiting. He's not a recruiter, which would be a problem. He actually wants to go his next move. He wants to go to the NFL. as opposed
Well,
to.
didn't he come? I mean, he was with the Ravens, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
he was like a DB coach or something.
Something like that.
The Ravens,
so he's getting sort of like exactly what happened last year. Got hit.
So that wouldn't be a good it wouldn't be a good thing if you don't want to recruit or that's not your thing. So the Michigan offensive coordinator. I also heard something about the Tulane head coach as a possibility.
Willie Fritz.
Yeah, as a possibility as well. And then the Buffalo head coach is a possibility. I would think though, if it was one of these MAC guys, the Kent State guy or the Buffalo guy, that would have been done. I mean, why could that's unless what would even if he was your leading one of those guys was your leading candidate now, he'd be hired unless you're waiting for something else to happen or you're waiting to talk to someone or whatever. That'd be my take. So whether it's somebody we're not talking about, which the Bearcat Journal report, which I kind of rely on a lot with their inside info, they keep touting, and I don't think they even know, but they keep saying the leading candidate is a mystery candidate, that we don't know who the leading candidate is and we don't have a name. It's just that's the way Cunningham is, and he just is able to do that, keep it locked down. So who knows? I'm still kind of open to anybody. I mean, not Dion anymore, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's some guy has not been talked about yet.
So a name I saw on Twitter the other day that I got a kick out of was Marvin Lewis. So some people are clamoring for Marvin.
If that happens, you might get a kick out of Sam, but if that happens, you need to kick me. If that happens, so I will not be renewing. I will not be renewing my season tickets for next year. So
I don't want Marvin, but I got a kick out of some people getting behind that name. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's funny. That is kind of funny. Well, never know. I mean, Marvin and Herm Edwards.
Right. That was so successful at Arizona State.
That was real successful.
They never even learned to bother learn the recruiting rules. So.
No, not at all. Not at all. But, oh, well. Well, hopefully they'll be able to find someone here in the near future that can propel the Bearcats forward, keep this train rolling, because it has been a fun ride, and you can win here. It's been proven with multiple head coaches here in the last 20, 25 years that you can win and win big at Cincinnati. And, it's a great recruiting area, lots and lots of quality football players in a 300-mile radius, right? And so we should be able to attract a really good coaching candidate. So I don't know why we haven't been able to nail one down as of yet. But
the other good news is, a piece of good news is that TCU made the playoff. So a Big 12 team with one loss, even a Big 12 team made it into the playoff. That they didn't get, taken over by Alabama. So that was a good thing. Or Tennessee or one of these two lost teams that did not deserve to make it. So thankfully the committee, made that decision. So you lose a game. It was the championship game, their conference championship, but a one-loss Big 12 team made the playoffs. That's good news for UC.
Right. That is good news. SEC was down. The SEC West was down. Just listening to the talking heads on ESPN and college football coverage on CBS, if the SEC was a traditional, like if Alabama only had one loss, they would have been in. They would have been in. So with the SEC West being down like it was, it opened it up. And, people are clamoring for 12 teams. People are clamoring for 8. But if you look at it, this year would have been a perfect, BCS year, right? Because you have the two best teams, 13-0. Let's go ahead, strap them up, play for the championship. But now we had to go with 4, and now we're going up to 12, which I'm not a big fan of 12. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of 12 because you're going to get multiple.
Well, all you're going to do is get multiple more SEC teams in. It's not like now the runner-up in the Pac-12 is going to have a chance. No, they're going to take the 5th SEC team.
Right.
Or, maybe they have one group of 5, but that second one that went 11-1, they're not getting in. No, they're taking the 9-3 SEC or Big Ten team. So, and those teams don't have a legitimate chance at winning a national title. They're not winning 5 games in a row or 4 games.
I don't. I don't know. I just don't like the. They're playing 17 games if they have to win the national championship. That's an NFL schedule, right?
Well, now you're getting into a 2-semester sport almost.
Right.
So that makes a difference because, especially for these guys that are going to go play pro ball. Well, they don't do anything there that semester because they don't have to. Because by the time that semester's over, the season's over. So it doesn't matter. So, I'll be kind of curious to see how that plays into it or if they shift the schedule around to accommodate for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, starting earlier, right?
Yeah,
they would start earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a good point. I think you'll see more players opting out because of that. That's just my take because
opting out of the playoff or bowl games?
Opting out of the playoffs, the 12 playoffs. I think you'll see that, especially if they're not they're enrolled, but they're not taking any classes. They're not getting their 12 credits or whatever, however many they need, 9, I think it is, or
it's 12 and 6 for grad students.
Right. So,
I mean, on the flip side, players typically don't ever opt out of the playoff. So, they opt out of the Citrus Bowl, whatever, which, I just saw some team that one of those bowls, 2 guys already said I'm not playing. But and if you make the 4-team playoff at this point, you're opted in. So that could keep that you now have 12 teams in a sense that they're not going to opt out potentially. I'm just saying we don't know what'll happen.
Right?
We'll have to see what happens, but that could be what happens. Because I have a chance to play the national championship, then I'll stay in.
Yeah, it's you would think that they would, but there's something's going to happen. Somebody's going to be the first one, and when that happens, you're going to have a domino effect. Especially
the 11 and 12 seed power conference teams. I think that's where it would come from.
Right. So, we'll see what happens. Do you think the committee got it right, the 4?
Yeah, I do. I don't necessarily know about the order. I don't really have a problem with the order, but I think Michigan Ohio State should have just been a rematch in the playoff game.
They weren't going to let it happen.
I know they weren't, but I think that's what they should have done because that's what everybody wants to see. But I guess
but
I didn't. Not everybody, not me. I don't want Ohio State in, so I don't want Ohio State in. Period. So unfortunately, they're probably the only. They are in, but I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
so
the thing that I
like that they're playing Georgia. I'm predicting Georgia by 60. So.
I think the early line is 6, maybe 7 points for Georgia.
10.
Those are early. A lot of it's going to be.
I'll take the.
Because what's his name? The wide receiver.
This
is what we're talking about. Who is it? Jackson Smith
Jigba.
Yeah, he probably won't play in it. Because he didn't play in the Michigan game, right? And he could have. So I'm thinking he's sitting out. And,
is he still hurt?
I don't know if he's hurt, but I think it's more I'm sitting out because I don't want to risk playing and lowering my draft status. So like
in the Michigan game, you would do that? Guys don't do that.
That's what they were saying. Right. That's what they were saying on one of the television shows is that, would he sit out? Why would he sit out? It's a big game. Well, the Michigan game was a big game, and apparently they didn't think he was injured. As they thought he could go, but he's, I don't know if his people are telling him, hey, if you get injured again, you're going to be down. Lower your draft stock. So let's hold off and see. But they said if he does play, that the spread will probably go down to 4. And right now it's it's 6 or 7, so it's probably not happening. The only thing I would say is, Ohio State, I hate how they get in. I didn't like the fact that Alabama got in when they didn't have to play in the conference championship. They actually had an extra bye week, right? And they backed themselves in a few years ago. Same thing here with Ohio State. Reese Davis made a point today saying that Ohio State has been looked favorably upon by this committee, because this is like the third time that they sort of got in where there might have been, some debate on it. And, looking at who was behind Ohio State,
there's no other great option.
There's not. Now, if Clemson would have never lost to South Carolina and they go 12-1 and win the ACC, they're probably in.
Yeah, they're probably in. Well, if Tennessee doesn't lose to South Carolina, they had a shot. Right. If they only had one loss, they would have got in, I think. Yep.
As long as Hendon Hooker was healthy, right?
Sure.
He didn't get hurt. So that's the thing. I think they did. And I think that I don't think Ohio State should have jumped TCU just because TCU lost in overtime by 3, the team that they already beat. And Ohio State loses by 22 at home to a rival that they were geared up for, or supposed to be geared up for. The committee guy came out and said that it was a good game through 4 quarters. Most of the Michigan pulled away there towards the end. And it's like, well, that's why you play 60 minutes, right? Or, you don't.
Michigan dominated that second half.
Yeah. They just made them look bad. And, that's the way it happens. And so Ohio State, kudos to you. You've got an opportunity to shut everybody up who doesn't think you belong in by going into Atlanta and knocking off the defending champs. So we'll see. Good luck to the 4 there, and hopefully, we'll get going here
that's
soon.
The Sugar
enough.
Bowl. That's the Sugar Bowl.
No, the Sugar Bowl is Alabama, and
the Sugar Bowl's in New Orleans.
Yeah, the Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl.
So Peach Bowl and Fiesta Bowl. So that is that. So that TCU Michigan game would be a pretty good game too. All right, moving on. Bengals time. Big Who Day. Shout out to our Cincinnati Bengals. We've defeated the Kansas City Chiefs again by the score of 27-24. If that sounds familiar, because it is. That's what it was in the AFC Championship game. Kudos to the Bengals. Kudos to our defense there in Kansas City's last drive, stepping up, sacking Mahomes. And it was a big victory for us, and puts us, tied for first place, slightly behind the Ravens because they have the head-to-head. But Lamar Jackson went out today with a knee. Said it could be, it's not season-ending, but it could be multiple games. So that helps our cause. Thoughts, takeaways from today's action, gentlemen?
It felt kind of weird to me because I felt like there were times where we dominated, especially on defense. But if you look at the numbers, we held Mahomes to under 300, instead of giving up a 300-yard passer. But there were just times where I felt like they ran the ball just really well. So maybe that was the game plan going in, was let them run and don't let Mahomes beat you. So maybe that I was looking at it because, they had a lot of time of possession and their drives were long, especially their touchdown drives were just long. So I didn't really feel like the defense played that well. But if you look at the numbers, they actually did. So it was just kind of weird. They made plays when they had to. That forced fumble by Pratt was huge. It killed Kansas City's momentum, flipped it right back to the Bengals.
Yeah, Kelsey should have had his skyline. Dang, Kelsey. Fashion skyline. Come on now. That's what happens.
Yeah, and then The offense played well. They scored. So, I don't really have much else.
Speaking of breaking someone's momentum. So, yeah, but I agree that Pratt play was, I mean, if there has to be a turning point in the game, that was it. I mean, because Chiefs had the lead in driving, and they had dominated the third quarter. So that was a big play. And I think it shows what the thing that's happened all year. If Burrow has a chance to throw the ball, the offense rolls. He got sacked once, and I can't even remember what that sack was. So
it was right at the end. He kind of slid in the backfield. That's all it was.
Oh, yeah.
Right before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah. So that wasn't, So, other than that play, which he was just trying to run around and waste time. So they really maybe didn't have any, but one official sack. I mean, that's a win for the offensive line. The running game was good. I mean, P. Ryan ran great today.
Over 100 yards.
A couple of times he got it, and he just gets those last couple yards. And I don't know, we had several of those plays today where P. Ryan did it either once or twice. Jamar Chase did it there at the end of the game where he had to fight for those last couple yards and did it. Like Tyler Boyd had a play where he caught it and had to kind of fight
again. Had a play where he dropped one wide open touchdown.
Negative, but he made up for it. So it's not completely, but I'm just saying that they wanted the toughness of those runs. I think won them the game as well. So. But the main thing for me is the offensive line. Mm-hmm. You can tell they're, compared to early in the season, they're doing what you hope an offensive line does, which is figure out how to work with each other and how to create a unit. And Kansas City's got a decent defense, good pass rush, and they didn't get much, going today. So that's who I would give the game ball to, is the whole offensive line.
Yeah, I agree there wholeheartedly. The thing that really, I guess, I irritated me a little bit was the first half, debacle there. We have to get you. I mean, it turned out okay, but you still have to get points in that situation. I know they were trying to punch it in, get a first down on fourth down and goal. Or 4th down and 1, and trying to get a touchdown later, but you don't run a jet sweep where
you're out.
You just don't run a jet sweep in that situation. You either sneak it or you go up and try to give it to what do you want to call it, P. Ryan, and let him get a yard.
I didn't like it, and it looked like Joe checked to that play. I think they had a sneak on, and then if you look, he checked. P. Ryan came up a little bit, which I would have thought indicates, they're definitely sneaking it here.
Right, he's going to push them.
And then they did the jet sweep, and I mean, look, Dunlap made a great play.
He did.
Listening to Romo, 9 times out of 10, the DN collapses in, tries to get under the offensive line on a sneak like that, and he didn't. He read it and just went right for the sweep and made a great play. But I still don't necessarily like the call.
Yeah, I don't like the call.
I think any game time situation like that, you don't call a play, you call a player. So Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or a QB sneak there. Those are the only 3, if you're going to go for it, those are the only 3 players that could potentially touch the ball.
Yeah, I probably would have kicked the field goal there.
I would have too. I'd have kicked the field goal because you go up 7.
Right.
And worst case scenario.
Kansas City gets the ball back. And granted, there was how many seconds left?
There's only 40 seconds.
Yeah. And Mahomes has done magic with 40 seconds, especially since, McPherson isn't kicking the ball into the end zone very often. The guy ran another one back 40 yards on us. And, we can't allow quarterbacks of Mahomes' caliber having short fields. And, we just have to be able to, when it comes to that, boot the ball in the end zone or have better kick coverage. And we've got to, make sure that we make that tackle there during the kickoff. But I would have went with the points, go up 7. Kansas City's coming, getting the ball back to start, and if they score, well, it's tied. But what happens? They scored, and instead of being tied, we're down 4, and we have to come from behind, and we did. We played well, and we answered every call that they threw at us. We had an answer for, and just one of those things that I didn't like that call at the end of the half, but it worked out all for the best.
Yeah, I love the call at the end of the game, though, when they threw it on whatever it was.
Yeah, 3rd and 11.
The very last throw
Right.
throw to Higgins there. I mean, you go for that, you complete it, and you win the game. And
Right.
Zach Taylor, I love that he took that risk. So I mean, they knew they could make the field goal, whether they completed it or not. It was going to, Mahomes doesn't need, if you give him 30 seconds, he could go down. So, I think they needed to go to just to, cut the head off basically, and that was what did that. So I love that call. I agree with you on that other one, but on the flip side, I'll give him credit for taking a risk like that, and it worked.
And Burrow stood in there. I don't know if you saw that, but I mean, guy was right in his face when he released it. And
yeah, I've watching that live. It looked like the defensive end stopped right before he hit him. I don't know if it was just kind of where my eyes were looking, because I wasn't necessarily looking. I was kind of looking at the first down line to see where he was throwing it, but it looked like the DN just kind of stopped him, let him throw it. So I don't know if either of you guys saw that or not.
No, I didn't, but it could have been one of those things where, they did get flagged a couple of times for late hits, roughing on Burrow. He didn't want to do that in case it was an incomplete. Flag comes out, automatic first down, ball game's over.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, they did have that one player or that penalty earlier in the game, the roughing the passer, which I did not like that call, even though it helped the Bengals. I still think that's just a cheap non-NFL football play. So the guy, he tackled him, he didn't slam him down, he landed on him. So what? I mean, I don't know. I think that's weak.
They're trying to clean that up. Apparently,
it's still weak. They've been
doing
so subjective. It's just they need to clean it out of the play call.
Yeah.
I mean, if he throws him down, fine, that kind of thing. But he just tackled him and landed on him. And the dude's 320 pounds, so he can't. So
right, I'd much rather have him get tackled, wrapped up, kind of taking him falling than what happened to Trevor Lawrence today in a similar situation where the guy could have done that, but he didn't want to land on him, so he spun him around and he got his leg caught up. And he came back in the game, but Joe's already had a torn ACL, so I'd much rather get hit that way if I was him. But take the penalty, I guess. So
right, yeah. I wasn't upset about it. I just think it's just a bad call. I just think I think it's just weak for the NFL to try to do that. It's the NFL still. They've already taken out a lot of other hits, and so
anything on the quarterback
but it's so subjective.
Yeah,
there was a play later in the game that basically the same thing happened. I think a Bengal guy landed on Mahomes pretty hard. There was no flag. But
it's just nice to see Burrow get that call, because that's a Rodgers Brady call right there.
That is,
if Andy Dalton's back there, they're not throwing that. But he's not getting that call, so it's a little refreshing to kind of see where Joe Burrow is now standing amongst referees.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, anything else for the good of the order about the Bengals Chiefs? Who do we got next week?
Browns, I think.
That's right. Deshaun Watson.
It was awful today. So
terrible.
It should be. Still out of the league.
Speaking of roughing calls on quarterbacks, I literally would take a 15-yard penalty to decapitate Deshaun Watson next week. So I will send a check. I'll hear it on the podcast. I will send they won't care about my $25 check, but I will send it to whatever defensive player decapitates him next week. So
that's because it's going to be like a $15,000 fine. So.
Yeah, $25 will help the guy, a little bit.
Yeah, I'll match.
Yeah, there we go. He's getting $50.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Crawley and Sam are going to pay $50 for the first defensive lineman to take off.
And once all the women of the world hear our podcast, they're all going to chip in $25 as well.
There we go.
15 grand will be paid off.
Perfect. Let's hope that we don't just decapitate them. We intercept them a bunch and just show them who rules the North. All right, we're going to move on to our trivia and drink review here. Crawley has a new drink. I'm still sipping on my Buffalo Trace out here, plus some water. Sam, it looked like you had ice again.
Yeah, I've got a black cherry this time. So
black cherry this time.
Mixing it up a bit.
All right, and Crawley, what's your flavor of the month?
So it's Warped Wing Raswell Raspberry Milkshake IPA. So it's pretty good. If you like milkshakes, it's a fruity milkshake beer, which I tend to like. So it's quality.
All right, there we go. All right, our trivia. Once again, if you would like to try to answer the trivia question, you can do it a couple of different ways. First one that will email us at csspodcast@yahoo.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram or Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene. Put your answer in the comment section there, and we will notify you if you won. So last week I had the question, and it was, since the Clemson and UC both lost at home for the first time in a while, who has the all-time home winning streak in Division I college football? And gave a hint of 58, and that was the Miami University, Florida. So shout out, 58 straight home games from the U. No one answered that correctly, so we'll go on to Crawley this week with his trivia.
Okay. So this is we're going to be talking about Reds, and so this is a baseball question. So the Reds franchise has played 21,489 games, regular season games. So this does not include postseason, just regular season, 21,489. Which three franchises, MLB franchise, have played more in their history?
Three of them?
Yep. Reds franchise has played the fourth most.
I'm assuming
regular season games.
Is it just regular season or postseason?
That's what he said.
Just regular season.
Oh, just regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys taking guesses, or?
They can guess. I just won't answer. Yes or no.
I mean, shoot, don't know. I draw on a blank because, you would think that they would early on. It had to be something early on where, there was no set number of games. So, the Red Stockings may have played 110, where the Boston Braves, or which is now whoever they are, Atlanta Braves played 155. That so I don't really know. I wouldn't have a guess to that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of older teams that may have started in the 1800s as well. I guess very early 1900s. Because I don't know, did when they went to the two leagues, they always played the same number of games. I don't think it was ever different. So that's tough. I'd say maybe Red Sox, Cardinals. Tigers I feel like the Tigers have been around for a while. So maybe the Tigers. I think the Tigers is a pretty good guess. But
Cubs.
That's a tough one.
Cubs been around for a while. Cubs and Wrigley, Boston, the Sox. Yeah, I like the Tigers. I like the Tigers. Like the. It's so hard because the franchises move around. So, like the Boston Braves were Milwaukee Braves.
Yeah, you got to follow
the chain. Right. Exactly. Yep. So that's what makes it difficult.
And then you have some teams that change their names.
Right. So yeah, that's a good one. So if you out there in podcast world, if you know the answer without looking it up, obviously, but we won't know if you do or not. But if you know the answer and you would like to maybe get a CSS sticker from us, shoot us a email at csspodcast@yahoo.com or on Instagram or Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene, and leave your answers in the DMs or the comments section. All right. Now we're going to move on to our topic of the week. And with Reds Fest happening this weekend, we thought how fun it would be to come up with a lineup of obscure Reds, not good Reds, because we knew good Reds would be able to beat this Reds team. So we wanted to see if we could come up with a lineup of obscure Reds players that, we forgot played for the Reds, and you'd be like going, oh my, oh yeah. And put together a lineup that would be able to beat this current Reds team, which probably would not be too difficult to do. So the rules was we're going to have a rotating draft order by position. So in other words, like if Sam goes first, he will choose which position he would like to start at. And then it'll just go Crawley, then me. And then we just rotate that. Then it'd be Crawley, me, Sam, and get to pick at which position we want to go. The positions are first base, second, short, third, catcher, left, center, right, a starting pitcher, a relief pitcher, right-handed variety, and then the loogie, the left-handed only relief pitcher. The other thing is we cannot change, or we cannot take the same player. So we have to have a couple in the bank. And then we must meet the criteria for obscure, which is a hard time remembering that he was a Red. And then we pretty much went from 1977 to the present day. So that is the criteria. Sam, since you're in the middle.
Real quick, couple questions.
Yeah, sure.
So let's say Sam, just hypothetically, he goes with a catcher. Does that mean you and I go with a catcher then too to finish that
Correct.
off or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the person who goes first gets to pick where they want to go.
What position we go. Okay.
What position, and then we follow. Yes, but we don't have to go in order. Like say if Sam went catcher, you don't have to go first base. So.
And then the other one is
questions?
just the obscurity thing. Are we disputing obscurity, or are we just?
We can. I mean, what I mean.
Well, I forgot Johnny. I forgot Johnny Bench played for the Reds. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I didn't. So and Sam probably didn't. So that would not be that very obscure. So. No. If our producer here, Benjamin, if he remembers them, then that's not obscure. So.
Okay, I guess
fair enough. All right, so it's got to pass the Benjamin.
That's a very good one.
All right.
I think most of these will.
Yeah.
All right. So Sam, where do you want to go?
I'm going to go starting pitcher, and I'm going to take Micah Owings, who is known more for his hitting, I believe.
He's not obscure.
He's not obscure enough? No?
I don't think so. Do you, Crawley?
I mean, I remember him, because I remember him exactly for what you just said, Sam.
Right,
he
hitting,
was a hitter over
exactly.
a pitcher, so I remember him a lot.
Benj, do you know who he was? No. All right, Benj says he doesn't remember.
I believe we got him
Micah
from the Diamondbacks.
Owens.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. Well,
see, so he's not obscure. If we know where we got him from, he's not obscure. All right. That right there just answers that.
All right. I'll take him off the board. He's no longer. Okay. This is going to be tougher than I thought then. This guy's name is known. I'll give you that. We're going to left field since we're not counting that. We're going to left field. This guy's name is known, but he is an obscure Red. Okay, Cody Ross played 2 games for the Reds in 2006.
I'll give you that because
that is obscure.
That is obscure. So that's a good one. All right,
World
Carl, you got left field.
So I got to go outfield. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Left field. You got to go left fielder.
well, whatever.
Here we go. Here we go again.
These guys are so obscure they can play. They can do anything. What the heck? Yeah, what the heck?
Positionless baseball.
I mean, I'm not putting Eric Davis on here or anything. So, okay, I'm gonna go. So one of my, I'll say a couple of things before I throw out my picks. One, I started with 1990. I figured anybody before that, I was 15 years old. I mean, I didn't want to go back too far. So I started with 1990 with my earliest years. And some of my thought was to pick some people that we may have heard of, but they were obscure playing for the Reds.
Right.
Okay. So I'm picking, my guy's Vince Coleman. No recollection of him as a Red, but he did. He was with the Reds in 1996, 94 plate appearances, batted 155. So that's mine. Vince Coleman. Does that work?
That works. That's obscure Red. Yes.
Okay.
Because I do remember him being a Red, but the only reason I remember him being a Red is because when I was doing this, yeah, that's right. I do remember now.
Yeah, I had no idea. I don't remember that at all.
But he was nothing like he was.
No, it was like his last. Right. He had I think he played one more year or something.
All right, so my left fielder, my first choice, my left fielder, I am going with Lance Nix.
I hit him on my list. I should have said him. Lance Nix.
Lance Nix.
His name is probably his most obscure thing about him. No other person in the world has Lance spelled like that. So
it's Layance.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a winner.
Got to get it right. We're posting it. So
all right, how's it spelled?
Layance. Lance Nix. All right, so Crowley, and Nix is Nix, by the way. So yes.
Just deleted the entire thing.
All right, Crowley, where are we going next?
Okay. I'll go back to what Sam was doing. I'll go starting pitcher. And I had changed this up a few times as to who I wanted to go with, but I finally came across the best one, ultimate one. So my answer is Todd Redmond.
Oh.
Nah, I remember him.
You do not remember Todd Redmond. Get out of here. Todd Redmond doesn't even remember Todd Redmond.
He doesn't remember playing for the Reds.
No, he doesn't. And so Todd Redmond, and why he's the best one is he played in 2012, which nobody would have known that. And every starter for the Reds, all 5 starters, made every start that year except for one doubleheader start. And that was Todd Redmond. And that's the only start he ever made for the Reds. The only time he ever pitched for the Reds was that one game. And he pitched 3 innings and gave up like 7 runs or something. His ERA was, I have it here, 1080 ERA. And he lost the game. And that was it. That was it for Todd Redmond being on the Reds. So the ultimate obscure Red.
That is pretty obscure, but I think I may have one. Starting pitching, pitched for the Reds in 1991, was 1-2, appeared in 5 games, started all 5 games, so that qualifies as a start. 3.86 earned run average, 28 innings pitched, 1.24 whip. I'm going with not Fred or Lamont Sanford, but Mo Sanford.
I kind of remember him, but I'll give it to you. He was
that was before my time.
I don't remember him.
I think because of his name. I thought it was kind of. I think you remember his
Mo Sanford.
Mo Sanford.
Yeah.
So
Mo Sanford. Yes. All right. So that's starting pitching and left field. So I think I am going to go.
Well, you got to give Sam his pitcher.
Sam. Oh,
Sam's
sorry.
Give his
sorry.
pitcher.
No, he doesn't
my
get
original one didn't count.
That's right.
So since my original one didn't count, I was going through Baseball Reference over here again, and I found a name that I completely forgot played for the Reds. In 2011, he went 1-6 in 13 starts. That's Dontrell Willis.
Oh.
Completely forgot he played for the Reds.
How do you spell that?
Good luck.
Just put D Train. That was his nickname
Okay.
because I don't know how to spell it. And
Yeah,
I've already clicked off.
I mean, now that you brought his name up, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember him pitching for the Reds. But yes, I forgot he played for the Reds. Yep. So, all right. So now it's my turn. I think I am going to go. The hardest position that I think I had was second base. That was really, really tough for me because we had so many good second basemen, and the obscures really didn't play second base. Brandon Phillips there for 8-9 years was playing 154 games, and then Pokey Reese was playing a ton of games before that, and it's just like, who, and so, we've got a couple here. So the first guy, D'Angelo Jimenez, second base. That's who I'm going with.
Yeah, that's who I had because, same like you. I mean, second basemen have been pretty solid for the Reds. So, I mean, I'm going to have to, Crowley, if you've got somebody, you can go ahead and go.
Yeah, I've got different people.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've got another one, but go ahead and go.
Well, if you have somebody, go. I think,
is it me anyway? No, it would be Sam because you don't want Carly to steal yours, Sam.
Well,
if he has the guys I have written down, then this game is over because there's no way these guys never heard of them.
Okay, I kind of don't remember him on the Reds. So another guy that's more known for being on the Giants, Rich Aurelia. It's listed here on Baseball Reference as a starting second baseman for the Reds in 2005. Looks like he played Giants for 10 years before that, and then he went back to the Giants afterwards.
Yeah.
Don't recall. I remember him as a player, but I don't really remember.
I remember him as a Red.
What's his name?
Rich Aurelia.
I'm putting Richo.
It's an A.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, we'll give you that.
Second base
he was more
tough.
shortstop, but
he was more of a shortstop, but I know he did play.
Yeah.
If you look on Baseball Reference, you can see.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he played some second base. So.
Right. So we'll give you that.
So here's mine, and I have a backup because I have a feeling that the older Wolf is going to dispute this one. But this dude literally had 5 at-bats for the Reds. And so the only reason we're going to know him is because of one significant moment in Reds history that makes him stand out. Billy Bates. He was a second baseman, which I didn't even know he was a second baseman because he literally, I don't think he actually ever played second base for the Reds. He only pitched.
I can tell you where he
had 5 plate
went
appearances.
to college. I can tell you where he went to college, I think, too.
Well, what, some no-name Indiana school or something? So.
University of Texas.
Oh, well, okay, great.
Him
and Clemens. Were him and Clemens together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Billy Bates.
So that's who I went with. So I don't know. Is he? I mean, if not for that one moment, no one. I mean, he literally had 5 plate appearances for the Reds. So
right. But is he obscure enough? That's the thing.
I think he is.
I don't know. You say Billy Bates, everybody will remember who.
No, not everybody. Not everybody.
Oh. Anybody who knows Reds history knows him. So, but we'll give you that. That's fine. I'm not going to be the Scrooge during
and he had 0 hits. He was 0 for 5.
Yeah. No. All right, Sam, where we go next?
We are going to go to third base. Third base.
Oh.
So this guy played half a season for the Reds in 2005. Looking at his Baseball Reference, looks like we signed him as a free agent. And then when you think of obscure Reds, his name, Joe Random, it's more random than Joe Randa. So
I think he hit a walk. Third. I'll be honest with you. I think he hit a walk-off home run on opening day.
I think you are right. So
I don't remember that. So
yeah, you a little younger than us, but it is what it is. All right, we'll give you Joe Randa. I didn't put him on because I didn't think he'd be obscure enough, but that's all right.
What year did he pull? I don't remember. What year did you say?
2005.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that long ago. Yeah, he was like on the Adam Dunn team. Dunn and Griffey and those guys. So okay. So third base. I went with a guy from 2013. I really do not remember this guy, even though he had 212 plate appearances for the Reds. Batted 209. That's probably why I don't remember him. Jack Hanahan.
Oh, I remember him.
No, you don't. Get out of here. Stop.
You can't see that, but that was my very first one, Jack Hanahan.
Jack Hanahan. So there we go. Yeah, I don't. I mean, that was only 9 years ago, but in 212 plate appearances, that's like half a season. But no idea when I came across that name. I'm like, I do not recall Jack Hanahan.
Yep.
So I went with him.
Right.
He's my third baseman.
So I got to go down the list a little bit. I'm going to go with a guy who 1997 had played 50 games, 125 plate appearances. I don't think we'll remember him as a Red because I didn't remember him as a Red until I actually was doing some research. But you'll remember him being an MVP for the Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, that type of player. So went with Terry Pendleton. Yeah. Did you remember him being a Red?
I mean, kind of, but not enough. I mean,
not enough.
What year was that?
97.
97. So, okay.
So, my other one was Kelly Paris, 1983.
Yeah, that's more obscure. Definitely.
That's more obscure, yes. But we're trying to beat the current team, so we need that Terry Pendleton.
Kelly Paris would have been fine too for that. So,
yes. Well, that's true. You never know. All right, whose turn is it?
I think it's mine.
Yes, it is.
Right, second base. You started that, right, Sam?
Yep.
Okay.
That was third base.
Third base.
Okay. Let's go with. I mean, what's it matter really? Let's just get rid of the catchers. I mean, sheesh. As I was looking at the catchers, it was pretty bad. They've had a lot of bad ones, which maybe every team has. So, the backup catchers. So this guy, and so I put three names down, but I went with the most recent because, again, this guy, I was like, I can't believe I don't remember this guy at all. He played 2014, 2015, but again, he had 739 at bats. So maybe you guys remember him, but I do not remember this guy. Brian Pena.
Yeah, Brian, left-handed switch hitter. He was a switch hitter.
I don't remember him, no.
I remember.
I don't know how to say his name. Brian or Brian. I don't know.
Brian Pena.
It's spelled Bray. That's Brian to me.
Right.
So.
Well, Brian. Yep. Yeah, he was a short, squatty type of guy. Yep. I do remember him, but probably most people don't. So
yeah, had 739 plate appearances, about a 263, which isn't bad. So if you want to get rid of him, my other guy was. You want me to say another guy? I had three more. I had two more. So.
You can leave him on there.
I'm good.
You can leave him on there.
Okay.
Because I didn't until I was looking through because I still don't have a catcher picked out because it seems like I remember catchers for some reason. So.
All right. So my catcher, I'm going with 1987. Sal Butera.
Oh, I remember Sal Butera. Probably because you and I have mentioned him before.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember him playing. I just remember his name.
No, but yes, I remember Sal Butera. And so I had two more on the list as well.
Yeah, I did
catchers
too.
were easy to come up with. So.
Oh, here, I just found one. I have no idea who this is. He's somewhat recent, 2017. He had 89 plate appearances for the Reds. He hasn't played in the MLB since. His name is Stuart Turner.
I remember Stuart Turner.
I was not watching a lot of games in 2017.
Big right-handed. Yep, I remember Stuart. But he is obscure.
I kept wanting to say, kind of like bad backup catchers, but like everybody remembers Corky Miller and Javier Valentine.
Who were your other ones, Crawley? Who were your other catchers that you had?
I had Brian Dorsett. 1993 and 94.
Yeah.
And then I had Glenn Sutko.
I remember. I know the name. Yeah.
He had
I had
13 plate appearances. You cannot remember his name.
I had.
I mean, he wasn't even a backup to a backup.
I had Brad Goulden in '84.
I've never heard of him.
And then in '83, Alan Nicely.
Oh, I remember Alan. I really do remember Alan nicely.
Alan Nicely.
Yeah.
So I think he was the bullpen catcher for
the
the
second guy
time.
You said. I didn't even recognize
Brad
his name.
Goulden.
Yeah, that guy.
All right, so it's my turn. Let's go with I'm going to go out to first base here. We'll go, let's see here. I've got a couple. I'm going to go 1993 first base. I mean, you probably will recognize the name, but you probably don't remember him playing for the Reds.
Let's say Eduardo Perez.
No, I won't.
Okay.
So this guy, like I said, played for the Reds in 1993. He played in 83 games for him, 282 plate appearances for the Reds. Batted 274, had a 406 slugging percentage, 6 homers. I'm going with Randy Milligan.
I remember Randy Milligan. He played for the Orioles and the Pirates.
Yeah. So, did you remember him playing for the Reds?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
not
good.
obscure
it's
enough.
fine. He's obscure. I mean,
well, I got another one though. So
yeah, I mean, Randy
For
Milligan.
obscure people, you are constantly saying, I remember him."
Well, I remember if he.
Well, we remember him. I mean, but
no, he's obscure. He's an obscure Red. I think he was better with one of those other teams. A lot better.
Yeah, he was better with the
maybe the Orioles or something.
Yeah, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years with the Orioles. So he had better years.
He just had 1 year with the Reds.
83 games with the Reds. Got traded. He either got traded. Oh, he got traded to Cleveland after 83 games. So right after the All-Star break, probably.
Oh yeah.
Because he played 19 games with Cleveland. So, and then went to Montreal in '94, and that was it. So
yeah, he's obscure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So Randy Milligan.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
First base. Okay, so this guy, 2007, he played 27 games for the Reds. Jorge Cantu.
He was the one who I was going to go with if Randy Milligan wasn't obscure enough.
Yeah. So I
do know who Jorge Cantu is.
Yeah, I think he played. I think he played for the Rays before the Reds.
Yes, he did.
He did. Yeah, he's more known for playing for the Rays. But yeah, he played 27 games in 2007 for the Reds.
Yep. All right, Carly, who do you got? Eduardo Perez?
No, I went with Tony, actually.
Oh, Jeff Conine?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Jeff Conine, yeah. Scott Hatteberg. No, I'd not go with those. So I went with this dude. This was 2012. If I could find a little more recent one, I tried to go with the recent one with us. So 2012, he had 21 plate appearances, 1 hit. 21 plate appearances. You can always say he got 1 hit for the Reds. Mike Costanzo.
Yeah, that's obscure.
Don't tell me you remember him.
I don't remember him. I do not remember him.
The last name of Costanzo does
not George Costanza. Mike Costanzo.
So, right. Yep.
Yeah, Mike Costanzo.
That's a good one.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sam, who was yours again?
1 for 21. He had 2 RBIs as well, Mike Costanzo.
Same. That one there. 2. Alrighty. Sam, whose turn is it? So Sam's turn.
Is it mine?
Randy Milligan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you went Milligan.
You're right.
All right. We'll just finish off the infield here. We'll go shortstop, and then first guy. I remember the guy, but I could not remember his name. So if you don't want me to go with him, I won't. I remember the guy. It's not very lucky. I remember the guy because he just sprinted everywhere he went, and I couldn't remember what his name was. No, his name Adam Rosales.
Oh yeah. He was like the Ryan Friel kind of player, so everybody liked him. Yeah.
Everybody liked him. He's hung around with the Reds for quite some time.
He was just 2 years. He hung around in the bigs, but he only
I think he
2 years
went,
for the Reds.
I think he went to the A's after the Reds.
The
Is that
A's,
right?
yep.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I think he was better with them.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he had 290 plate appearances for the Reds in 2 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's
much
obscure.
more with the Rays.
But I do remember him just being like one of those gritty players that the Reds fans like, fits in that mold.
Yep.
Yeah, if he walked, he sprinted to first base. Yeah, one of those guys.
He was that
Had the
guy.
long flowing hair, right?
Yeah.
Adam Rosales. Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Okay.
Who are you going with, Crawley? Shortstop?
So I had a couple good ones. I'm gonna go with the most recent one. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. This is 2017. Like, I'm going real recent. 2017. He had 12 plate appearances. Zach Vincej, Vincej. 12 plate appearances in 2017.
What was it again?
VIN. V is in victory.
Right.
INCEJ. Zach Vincenz or something. 12 plate appearances, 2017.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
You think with a last name like that,
I don't think he was good.
But...
Well, that's true. That is true. So
I had another really good one, but I don't want to steal him from you, Wolf, because I can see you going with this other guy.
You're probably right. So my guy played in 1993. Played in 11 games.
This is guy. That's what I read.
He played in 11 games. He played in 11 games, and the funny
32
story.
plate appearances I haven't down for.
Let's see. I have 32, 27 at bats, 7 hits. And here's a funny story about him is we were up. It was a bachelor party. He played for the Indianapolis Indians in '94. I guess he got sent back down. And our buddies, that's where we went. We went to a baseball game, and he was on deck, and I gave him so much grief for not choking up like his daddy used to choke up. And it's like that's why he's still in the minor leagues and never making the big leagues. But Keith Kissinger,
I can't believe you had him too.
Yes. So that's the one who Kissinger. Yeah. So that's who I had there. So
he's obscure.
Right? So one hit wonder, not. But
no, that was
all right.
That was my guy, Mike Costanzo.
Mike Costanzo, the one hit. That is correct.
One hit, 1 for 21.
All right. So where are we going, Crawley? We've got right field, center field, left-hander, and a right-hander relief pitcher. So we got four.
The two relief pitchers and the 2 outfielders.
Correct.
Okay. I'll go outfielder. This guy's so obscure. I have no idea which position he played, but I'm just telling you now.
Okay. Where do you want to put him at? I'll let you put him there.
We'll put him in left field.
Well,
left field's already taken.
Right field. Okay. All right. Right field.
So 2011. His name is, again, no idea if I'm saying it right. His name is Dave Sapelt. Sapelt. Not Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. Dave Sapelt.
Sapelt. I had him as a left fielder. He was my second left. I went with Lance Nix first. And if he was not obscure enough, I was going with Dave Sapelt.
Well, if you want me to go with someone else, I got a bunch of more. So
Nope.
I say go with someone else.
Nope. Stay with Dave Sapelt.
Dave Sapelt. Yeah, 118 plate appearances, 243, batted 243. So, Dave, not Chappelle, Dave Sapelt.
Now, this one might not be obscure enough, but he played with the Reds for 3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. But 2007, he had he played in 121 games. This is where,
That's a lot.
And so I don't know. And he actually batted 329 for him. Then the next year, he only played in 26 games. And I was so mad that
Johnny Gomes?
No. Norris Hopper.
Oh, yeah. Norris Hopper. Yeah. He was a short, squatty number 30.
Yeah. Norris loved because contact hitter and run.
Yeah.
Bunted a lot. So is he obscure enough or not? Because I
probably wouldn't have put him on there because I remember him pretty well. But
okay,
it's fine if you.
No. I've got another one. So
I think part of it is when their name is like that too. You remember them a little better too. Like
right.
Norris Hopper. I mean, that's a great name. So
yes, it is a good name. So let me see.
You want them, please take.
Now this is really obscure because I found this guy on the Reds and I just did a search because I wanted to get some stats and Baseball Almanac says cannot find him. So he is really obscure.
There we go. That's the kind of obscure that we want.
Let's see here.
Well, that's got to be top.
Ooh. Where's he at? No. Let me go back. Maybe let me search players here. One more time here. Yeah, there he is. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. That's why. It's all on me. So he played for the Reds in 1989 and 90. Part of the world. I wonder if he got a ring with the Reds. 89, he was in 107 games. And in 1990, he was in 30 games. Got traded to Montreal that same year, so I don't know. Let's see, what did he bat for the Reds here? Look like in 89, 263, and 90, 227. Do you remember Rolando Rooms?
I mean, not really.
Yeah, so Rolando Rooms is my right fielder. Or center fielder, I guess. I take it.
Right fielder.
Oh, right fielder.
Right.
I know Crawley choosing a left fielder really messed it all up there.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Dave Chappelle is good enough to play whatever position you need him to play. So.
All right, so my right fielder played parts of 2 years for the Reds in 2013 and 14. Total of 113 plate appearances, 1 career home run. It's Donald Lutz.
The big German. That's who I had.
Guy, yeah.
I got the big German guy. That's who I got down here.
Donald what?
Lutz. Lutz. Easy.
He was German, yeah.
Yep, Donald Lutz.
Looking at it, I think he's the first German player in the major leagues, if I remember correctly. I'm kind of trying to remember Jim Day doing something about him or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Or maybe he was the first German player to hit a home run or something. I don't know.
Something like that. All right. I'm going to go with my right-handed relief pitcher. This guy was a phenom coming up, but not with the Reds, obviously. And I forgot he even pitched for the Reds. In 2003, he pitched for the Reds. Todd Van Poppel.
Todd Van Poppel. Yeah.
He was with the A's, and his rookie card was out of this world. I mean, that was like everybody thought he was the next, Raleigh Fingers or something like that, Dennis Eckersley. But he didn't really amount to much. So Todd Van Poppel.
What a name.
Right-handed.
Just what a name right there.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of obscure right-handed.
Oh, God.
ones.
Any relief
I found mine in 2017, just going through that roster. Let me get his stats here real quick. So he pitched in 10 games. It looks like he did make a couple starts, but mostly he was out of the bullpen. 8.1 ERA, a negative like 2 WAR. Salvatore Bonilla.
I had him. I had him down. Yeah. So I agree with you on that one.
I don't even like remember. I have no recollection of like what this guy's windup was or anything.
What year was it?
2017.
Yeah.
You know, the golden years.
Yeah.
For this experiment, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Crawl.
Is this right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed, okay. So right-handed relief pitcher. Okay. So this is another one where I didn't remember this guy as a Red. Oh, Senior Wolf, you probably do. So if you need to nix him, that's fine. I do have another guy. This guy was good, but not for the Reds. And he only pitched 1 year with the Reds, 61 innings, 1993, 8 saves. Jeff Reardon.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember Expo was what I remember him. Jeff Reardon was the closer for them for a long time. I don't have any recollection of him being a Red. So,
yeah, I mean, if you'd have said who was, I wouldn't have guessed Jeff Reardon as a Red, but if you'd have gave me clues, I probably would have been able to guess the name, right? But
yeah,
so that's good. That's a good one.
My other one was Curtis Parch, by the way. So.
I had him down too.
Yeah, Curtis Parch.
It's Parch. Yes.
Somehow pitched in 2 seasons with the Reds.
the big redhead, right? Wasn't he red?
Oh, I have no recollection.
I think he was redhead. I do. Yeah. Yes. All right, son. Where do you want to
go? We'll go to the loogie.
Okay.
So this guy, I believe he pitched 2 or 3 years for the Reds, kind of in the mid-2000s. Daniel Ray Herrera. You guys remember him? Is that too?
Yeah, he was a little guy.
Yeah, he was the little guy. He was like 5'5", threw a screwball. Yeah.
Right.
That's not obscure enough.
Yeah.
So that's not obscure enough.
No, I don't know. I would say he's pretty damn obscure. I just remember him as a little guy. I couldn't tell you anything more about him.
Well,
if you're throwing a screwball as a reliever,
if you're like coming
Fernando.
up with this pitch, yeah. So
well, I mean, there's only
he's pretty
so many.
obscure.
Yeah, I think he's obscure.
All right.
Daniel Ray Herrera. I like it. Is it my turn?
Yes.
So left-handed relief pitcher. Okay. So this guy pitched in 2011. He had a 2.93 ERA, but I think this is the only time he ever pitched in the majors. I was like 2.93 ERA. Man, the Reds should have held on to him. 2011. Jeremy Horst. 15 innings.
Yep.
2.93 ERA.
That's obscure.
That's there we go.
Right?
Jeremy Horst.
All right, so mine, we're going down to 2007 because I think the other one that I have on my list, I think you guys probably will remember him, but 2007, let's get his stats here. I want to be accurate. Okay, so he had a .5 WAR, 4-2, appeared in 64 games for his career, a 1.5 ERA, and his career spanned those 64 games with the Reds. So just 1 year with the Reds, strikeout to walk was 1.41, 41 innings. John Coutlangus.
Are you sure of that?
Coutlangus. Coutlangus.
Might be Cootlangus.
Coutlangus. I don't know. John, you're so obscure. We don't know your name. So.
Okay. Yeah. So is it my turn? This is the last one, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So the other outfielder.
Center field.
Okay.
Yep. The other outfielder.
Well, I had to make a detour because all my other guys, I didn't do it by position. I just went with outfielders. So if you're going to hold me to a center fielder, I had to pick somebody else. And I did find someone. So
All right, go ahead.
So you're going to be mad if I stole your guy because I didn't have him on my original list. So this guy played in 2000. 5 plate appearances for the Reds. Kamara Barti.
Have him. That's
5
good.
plate appearances in 2000. And did he get any hits in that 5? He had 0 hits. Scored 2 runs though. So Kamara Barti.
Okay, so this guy played 2 years with the Reds. Played in 208 games for the Reds. Had a career 300 batting average with the Reds. So you guys remember Alex Ochoa?
I mean, I do, kind of. I think he played for
I don't,
Milwaukee.
but I remember seeing his name when I was doing research.
I think he
That's
played for
about it.
Milwaukee for a while.
Let's see. Ochoa, the Mets, and he played in
Mets.
Milwaukee 1 year.
1 year.
2 years. So yeah, but not consecutive years with Milwaukee. So if not, I can.
He's good. It's fine.
Okay.
Alex
I
Ochoa.
can grab another one. So, all right, son, you get the last one.
All right, so I remember this guy, but I don't remember him for the Reds. So if you guys do, just let me know. He played, looks like 2 full seasons from what I could tell, but he only played in like 100 total games in 05 and 06. Chris DeNorfia.
He's obscure.
That's
No,
obscure
he's-
enough.
He's obscure enough. I mean,
Because
I
I,
do
like I
remember
said, I
DeNorfia.
remember the name, but I don't ever remember him for the Reds.
I think he got traded along the way. I can't remember for who, but all right. So our lineups, I think we could take on this current Cincinnati Reds and give them a game, and maybe
Whose lineup has the better chance of doing it?
Not mine.
probably Sam's, just because I don't know. I've got the former MVP Terry Pendleton.
I got Vince Coleman.
Well, that's true. You do have Vince Coleman.
Jorge Cantu had got MVP votes when he was with Tampa.
Well,
He
yeah,
finished
you got
27th.
yeah, you got
I think Sam. I would go
Cantu.
Sam because I think he's got
Yeah.
the best players.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, Rich Aurelia. Yeah. So
Even
Cody Ross
yeah.
is pretty solid.
the big German. I like the big German.
I
Stuart,
don't know about
Stuart
him. but-
Turner. Yeah. But did you have what else on your list that you guys didn't have or didn't say?
So I've got one. I don't remember him. I was just kind of going through Baseball Reference, and I just find it funny. So Gabriel Guerrero, his primary position is listed as pinch hitter. Not even a position in the field.
Like Herb Washington or Herm Washington or whatever his name was for the Oakland A's. He was pinch runner. That was it.
Yeah. So it was
So.
2018. He had 18 plate appearances over the course of 14 games. So I'm guessing he started one game, and the rest were probably pinch hits.
Yeah.
So.
Billy Bates is listed as second base and pinch runner.
Mhm.
So that's according to Baseball Reference.
I had second base. I had Danny Ricard.
Nope.
Yeah.
No idea.
And then Mike Kelly, I was going to have for an outfielder. I forgot he played for the Reds. And then
I remember Roberto Kelly, not Mike Kelly.
Yes, right. Yep. And then starting pitcher, Tim Leary. You remember Tim Leary
I do. Yeah.
for the Reds?
Yeah.
What about here's a good name that I should have went with instead of Mo, but Larry Lubers.
I remember that. I'm getting good name. That's part of why.
Good name,
I
right,
remember
exactly.
Larry Lubers. Yeah.
Good. Yep. So did you have anybody else, Crawley?
I had another one, if you don't
Oh.
mind, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So pitcher, I didn't go with him because I actually remember this guy, but I still think he's obscure because he made like 20 total starts. But for 3 straight years, Dad, when we went to a Reds game, this guy started the game. Jose Acevedo.
Oh yeah, Jose Acevedo.
Yeah.
I had Gabe White as another left-handed reliever, but
Nope. Yeah. So I had Ruben Sierra. I don't remember him as a Red. He was a really good player for the Rangers, but
yeah.
he was with the Reds in 1996 or 1997, 96 plate appearances. So I had him on here. I had, if you didn't let me go with Billy Bates, my next second baseman was Hernan Iribarren. So 2016, Hernan played for the Reds, in case you were wondering.
Just for spelling purposes, I'm very glad you went with Billy Bates.
Yeah. But tell you how bad his name is spelled. You know how, like, when you do a Google Doc and the word's not spelled right, you get the little red wiggly line under the word. Well, Iribarren is spelled correctly. I checked it several times and it still has the red squiggly line. Google doesn't recognize his name. I had a guy. I was ready. He was a second baseman and third baseman, so I could have gone either way with this dude from 2001, Bill Selby.
Oh. Yeah.
Bill Selby. No recollection of him.
Yeah, another one I had, a shortstop, was Jeff Richardson.
Jeff Richardson.
Yep.
Nope.
He was there. I want to say he was in that time frame where it was after, who was the, gosh, darn it. Edgar Renteria played with the Reds.
Yeah.
I think he was in between Renteria and Aurelio or something like that. He played.
I remember Jeff Keppinger.
Half a season.
Not Jeff Richardson.
Yep. That was with Norris Hopper. Keppinger batted second. Hopper batted first.
That was when they had Chris Steins too.
Yep, Chris Steins.
I saw his name come up, and I'm like, oh yeah.
That's when Votto actually played left field during that time in 08 when, or was it 07?
That's when Hatterberg was the first baseman, wasn't it?
Exactly. Votto came up, and he was a left fielder. They put him out in the outfield. So, all right. So hopefully you all enjoyed the Obscure Reds lineup. Next week's show, we're going to review the Crosstown Showdown. Plus, we're going to come up with, since it is next week showdown, and we're going to come up with the best rivalries in sports for the topic of the week. So we're going to come up with, I don't know, we'll probably come up with about our top 5 to 10, and then we'll try to come up as a consensus top 5 sports rivalry for the week. So that's what we're going to look at. And hopefully, like I said, if the Bearcats name a head coach, we'll do an emergency pod and come on and just give our instant reactions to the hiring of whoever that is. And other than that, you guys have anything for the good of the order?
Nope, I'm good.
No.
All right, so once again, you can find us on all your podcasting platforms. Please hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss an episode. If you have a suggestion for the topic of the week, you can drop us a line at CSS podcast at yahoo.com or in our Instagram or Twitter feeds at Cincy Sports Scene. So for Sam and Charlie, this is Dave signing off, telling you all to have a great evening. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
See you.